Hello and welcome back to Reaseheath, our sheep unit here, and there's lots going on right now. Yes, thank you. Last time I spoke to you it was all at the start and we hadn't got many lambs around, but now we're in the thick of it and we've got lots of these little chaps knocking around on our Reaseheath sheep unit. So when they're born, that's only the start of the jobs that we have to do. We get the nice healthy lamb born and out on the farm with its mum, which is great. But there's certain things that we have to do to make sure that the lambs stay fit and healthy, and also some management things that we need to do. And if you can see on the lamb here, it's got a little ear tag. And that's a little process that we'll show you that we insert the ear tag into the ear. And it's a harmless thing, they don't really feel anything, so don't worry. And on the little tag, we've got two numbers. One number is our Reaseheath sheep unit number, which every sheep that's born here at Reaseheath will have that same number. So that if it moves away from Reaseheath to another farm, it can be traced back. It's called traceability. So that in the whole food chain, any animal keeps that ear tag, and this one's decided that he wants to go for a little run round. But it can be traced back to where that lamb was actually born with the Reaseheath number on it. On the other side, there's its own individual number. So just like you and I have our own individual names, the lambs, we'd love to name them all, and we do name them, but there's so many of them, there's just not enough names going around. So we give them all a number. And this lamb's number is, if he'll keep still, 11114. And then the next lamb that gets tagged will be 11115, and it'll keep going up. Okay, so that's the reason we put a little tag in, so that it's its own individual identification tag. Also within the tag there's a little microchip as well, so that if we want to find out a lamb's number, we don't have to physically pick it up like I'm doing here. We have like a little wand or a stick that reads the microchip that is inside the tag. So we can just wave the wand over and it will pick up the microchip, just like some of you may well have with your own pets at home, and particularly with dogs being microchipped. We do the same with the lambs so that we can identify them. Another job that we have to make sure that we do when our lambs are born here at Reaseheath is make sure that those newborn lambs get what we call colostrum. Now, colostrum is the very first little bit of milk that the mothers produce. And it's with most newborn creature, even humans, when you were born, your mummy will have produced some colostrum that is vital that you get within the first few hours of birth. So same with lambs. We need to make sure that the lamb suckles off its mummy to get some of that colostrum into its stomach, into its tummy, within, ideally, the first 2 to 3 hours. That then helps to provide lots of vital protection for that little lamb in its first few days of life, because it's always prone or possible that that lamb could pick up some nasty little illnesses, nasty little infections, but the colostrum gives it a lot of protection against them. So what I've got here is some colostrum that we've managed to take from one of the sheep that gave birth this morning. And so just to show you what it looks like, it's milk, but it's like a real creamy milk. Some of it can even look a little bit like some of the custard that your mum might make you for your tea. And it's this real thick looking milk, and it's full of what we call antibodies. There's lots of all the goodness and the vitamins and minerals that milk contains anyway, but as well as that, it's got these antibodies in here, big word, and it's basically full of those in here, which helps, once it gets into the lamb's tummy, it's absorbed inside the lamb to help fight off all those nasty little bugs and illnesses and little nasties that could make our little lamb poorly. So getting this into the system gives it a real good vital start and a good kickstart in life to keep away lots of those things that might make it poorly. That's antibodies in the colostrum. So I've mentioned some of the jobs and the tasks that we have to do on our newborn lambs when they're born here at Reaseheath. Something else that we need to do is we need to put some iodine on the navels. And we can either do that in one of two ways. We can either dip the navel or we can spray it with iodine. And as you can see here, the navel here, which is basically the same as you've got your belly button, that's where the lamb has been fed. When it's been inside the mum's tummy, all the feeding of the lamb has gone on through the navel. Now when it's born, that navel is then becomes detached, separated from mum, and will basically just dry up. But we need to put some iodine on there. Otherwise, there's a chance that some nasty little infections can get through into the lamb's tummy and make it really poorly. So the iodine on there just will protect it from any of those little nasties that might get in that way. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we do put ear tags in the little lambs for management decisions and choices as they grow older. But as you can see, the sheep behind me, we put numbers on the side of them as well, big numbers. That's really just so that when they're out in the field, we can see from a distance which lambs belong to which ewe and which is the mother of the different lambs. Because occasionally they do get a little bit lost, these little lambs in the big fields. So if we see a lamb on its own, we can look at the sheep in the distance and see that big number, and we can pair them back up again. So we've come to the end of our time here at Reaseheath on the sheep unit. I really hope you've enjoyed the experience of seeing what goes on. Some of the challenges that we face, some of the exciting times, some of the more challenging times, but really hope you've enjoyed that experience. If you've missed anything, don't worry, you can go onto our website, the Reaseheath website, and anything that you've missed, you can go and see it all over again on there. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again for real in the future.